recorded on VHS and downloaded to cassette for maximum audio quality.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to Surf Shorts. Today I got with me Josh. What's up, dude?
What's up, man?
So now you were in Hawaii, stationed in Hawaii?
Yeah. So, I did really well in submarine school. They allowed me to pick my home base.
Damn, you did do well.
Yes. And so, first I went to San Diego for 2 years at Point Loma.
Yeah.
Sunset Cliffs,
Sure.
You can't beat it. And then we transferred to Hawaii. So I was stationed at Pearl Harbor for 2 years. I lived in Eva Beach, was kind of the west side of Pearl Harbor, on the south side of the island. And so I would surf Barbers Point, which was a naval air station.
Yeah.
And that was cool because you had the summer swell would come in, and of course, Waikiki and Ala Moana Bulls and all that, but it got pretty crowded. Mm-hmm. And so we would take the opportunity to surf Barbers Point, which at that point was pretty private. They didn't allow just anybody on base.
Oh, wow. So it's not just military, they don't allow all the military there.
No, you could have, but I mean, it's so
it's
so off the beaten path. I say that because now you can go to Barbers Point being a civilian.
Oh, okay. It's backwards because everything around here you could go to, and now you can't.
Right.
So, right. They opened it up.
They did open it up, and so back then in the 90s, that was a great longboard wave. It was like a Waikiki wave without the crowd.
Yeah. Oh my God. It sounds amazing.
It does. But then, you always wonder, like, what's around the corner?
Yeah.
And this is called Barbers Point. And we're not surfing a point break.
Yeah.
But surely there's a point break if it's called Barbers Point.
Yeah. And this is before Google Maps and your phone, right?
Yeah.
So you're not just going to let's see what it looks like over there. It's Barbers Point. There's got to be something over there.
Yeah.
Right?
This is I think their cell phones have been out since the 80s, but on a military pay, you scrambled. It was like prepay cell phone.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have the modern GPS where wherever you are in the world, you just look at yourself on a map and you can see what's around the corner.
No, that was that was when you still kind of called 976 Surf for the surf report.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, that's funny.
Most people, most audience members don't know what I'm talking about, but during the 80s, there used to be phone numbers that you can call, and they would be pre-recorded messages, but they would charge you $2.99.
Yeah, it's like
a minute,
a swell forecast.
Yeah, and so I got in trouble as a child. There was a time where you can call Santa Claus. It was like 976 gift or something like that.
Yeah,
dude, I talked to Santa for an hour.
Oh my gosh,
and it was $6 a minute.
Yeah, and your dad was like, well, that was your Christmas present.
Yeah,
I hope you enjoyed your talk with Santa. Yeah,
and then, there would be other kind of dirty phone numbers you can call back then too. But I say all that because there was 976 Surf, and that's, how you'd get the surf report. You'd call and they'd tell you what's up. But yeah, so Barbers Point, there was no surf report and there was no maps. And so we just knew, generally speaking, that the point was in that direction, and there's a sandy road that's heading that way. And so we got my buddy's 1970 something VW bus.
Yeah.
Threw all the boards in there, and
well, let me ask you, were you already surfing that day?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, so you knew there was waves, and you were having fun. You're like, maybe it's better than this.
Always, right? Isn't that always the thing? It's like you paddle out and you're like, man, I wonder what the jetty's doing.
Yeah, down the beach syndrome. That's what we used to call it.
Yeah.
You'd be surfing, and you're on the East Coast. You look down the beach, it looks better down there. It's a DBS. That's what we called it.
DBS?
Down the beach syndrome.
Oh, yeah. It's like that mirage.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like the mirage in the cartoons where the guy's in the desert looking for water.
That's right.
Sees this oasis. Yeah. I've paddled for those waves. They don't exist.
Yeah, they don't. They're not there.
Yeah, so we'd never been down these sandy trails, and we knew it was more for a vehicle than a hike. We knew we were gonna have to put some miles down these roads.
Yeah, it was a ways.
Yeah. And it's hot too. I mean, that side of the island is what they call it, the leeward side. It's kind of the deserty side, you know, where you got the I always have to do that. The east side, the windward side, you know, where the clouds get just ripped open by the mountains and it dumps and it's like a rainforest. But then when it gets to that side, it's like desert.
Yeah.
And it's hot. So anyway, we jump in this van, but we don't want to get stuck in these sand roads, you know, because that would be devastating, you know, ruin a whole surf day like that.
Yeah. Getting yourself out of the sand. Yeah.
So we're like going, I don't know, probably 30 miles an hour, 40 in some spots.
Keeping your speed up so you don't sink. Yeah.
Yeah, but the tree line is about 10 feet all around us, surrounding us. I mean, we literally can't see but, you know, 100 feet in front of us and definitely can't see anything to the left or right of us. Just branches whizzing by our head.
Yeah.
Trying not to get stuck. And we're trying to find Barbers Point. All of a sudden, we come to an opening and we launch up. And I can't tell you how high we got, but we got airborne and we landed on a tarmac.
In Supercross, we call that a step on. You hit a jump and you go up and then you land on a tabletop.
Yes.
So you stepped on out of the jungle.
Out of the jungle onto a naval air station landing strip or takeoff strip, whatever you want to call it.
So I used to trees, nothing. I'm on a runway.
I look to my right and I see it seemed like it went on forever. But then, you know, you look up and you're like, that's a flight tower. And it's a military installation. And I just know I'm going to be in captain's mast, right? Like I'm going to have to talk to my captain about how I ended up, you know, on a runway with my buddy and all of our boards.
Yeah. You got the guy from Top Gun with the half cigar. He's like chewing you out, and you're standing there sweating in your uniform. Right.
That is an accurate depiction.
That's as much as I know about the military. What I see on TV.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, we could have used Maverick that day. We could. So anyway, we just as fast as we got on that land strip, we got off of it because we were hauling butt, and we basically just got right back into the jungle, and we maintained that speed and probably a little faster now because we knew for certain somebody was going to come.
Somebody is coming. Yeah. Some sort of MP is coming.
Yes.
Your direction.
Yes.
I'd love to have heard the conversation in this bus as you're sawing your way through the forest. Like, what do we do?
Yeah. Yeah, it was exactly that. And the conversation went, let's just go faster. Fast enough to avoid, but slow enough to not get our boards to jump up and down. Yeah. So back in the back.
It's a delicate balance.
Yeah.
Between like eluding the military police and dinging your surfboards.
Exactly. And we came to a beach. And nobody was there. I don't think anybody who's ever been there except for maybe, you know, during training operations. And we knew like this is probably the last time we'd ever surf. Ever. So we hurried up.
Hey, was it an actual point? Did you actually find the point, or had you just crossed over onto another beach?
No, it was a point, but it was kind of disappointing.
Oh, I got you.
And that was a play on word.
Yeah, it was a little bit, yeah.
That point was disappointing.
Wasn't as pointy as you were hoping it was.
You know what it was? It was multiple points. So what we found is just rocks all throughout. So the point was just like 100 rocky points.
Yeah.
And it just kind of blew it up. So we didn't really care. We knew we were in trouble. And the best thing to do is just pretend like a bunch of dumb surfers. And so we paddled out there. And we probably spent about 20 minutes trying to find a wave. And we didn't want to leave because we knew it. This is it.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, we heard over the tree lines that we just blew out of choppers. And before you know it, they had scrambled this whole like regiment of helicopters, and they ended up just circling around us. And guys hanging off I don't know what you call them, the skids maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah. They were just kind of like pointing fingers and yelling at us.
Chrome aviators.
Yes, yeah. So, they flew around us for like 5 minutes, and I can imagine the conversations with them, like calling back to the flight tower, like, are they terrorists? No, they're either hippies with this bus or they're surfers. And so I think our hairdos kind of gave it away that we were safe. Yeah.
Well, so what happened? What happens after this like helicopter soiree? You're like in the middle of the roundup.
So they left, and we figured, you know what? Now they know our location. So if we do hang out here in this really crappy surf area, we will be busted.
Yeah, for sure.
And so we decided once the helicopters left that the best bet is to get in the van, go as fast as we did. We only knew one way,
which is back across the tarmac.
Yes. And so we went just as fast over the tarmac back to our regular surf spot, and then we got off base, and that was it. We never got busted.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I can imagine like some guys in the control tower with their binoculars, and they're just shaking their head, like they see you going back the other way.
Yeah, it could be that, or they're like, oh no, our surf break got found out. The secret spot is up.
No, that's why he didn't get busted. If it would have actually been a point break and there'd have been like peeling off, I guess lefts from this point, right? There'd have been just peeling off ways, then you'd have been busted, hauled off, and like this whole crew of dudes that served to be like, nah, these got
We had been breaking rocks in Leavenworth.
That's exactly what would have happened. So you're lucky it wasn't a good break.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. So I've never been back there. But it would be fun to go on Google Maps now that technology exists and just kind of like retrace that trail, because I'm sure you can see it.
Maybe I'll just post that on Instagram.
That'd be rad.
Yeah, that would be super rad. Well, hey, man, thanks. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, of course.
All right.
Off the lip. Radical. Tom Curran.